I was sitting here one day feeling gross and uninspired.
I feel gross and uninspired.
When I stumbled across a video by TED Talks talking about the importance of play in adult life and how playing affects your creativity. And I was thinking, hey, this is kind of what I do to combat those days when you feel a bit like uninspired and boring. Come up with the randomest, weirdest ideas to start a track. So why does that work? Well, like John says, playing is essentially just creating without wondering how this is gonna fail. Accepting that most things are initially gonna sound shit is all you need. Like sometimes I'll come across my old hard drive with all of my old Ableton projects on when I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and I come across some amazing shit that sounds really bad. But it's so creative. I would have never thought of doing something like that now. Also, playing and being silly with your music completely combats one of the worst things I find is stopping me from making beats. The first 15 minutes of a blank page on Ableton, when you have to write something down and you could go 20 different ways. So by coming up with silly methods to just kind of warm you up to the idea of making something without worrying if it's gonna be good or bad, completely stopped me from worrying about those first 15 minutes, and I usually find myself in the same spot 9 hours later still jamming. So how do I do that? Step 1. Randomization. Decision fatigue is a real thing, man. So I just use something random to help me choose. I can use a number generator to tell me which folder to go into for the samples. And at this stage, I'm not trying to get ahead of myself. I just want a kick, a snare, and a few percussion sounds so I can just get a groove going. I'm not trying to get over myself because I find that if I do that, I completely ruin the vibe and I just complicate things too much. Option 2. Foley. So whenever I do something mundane around the house, like cooking or cleaning or anything that makes sounds, I will record this with my phone. I have some really weird conversations recorded with my friends. They knew about it. It's okay. I'm not a creep most of the time. And I can store them for later in a folder so that whenever I need something in my production that sounds more interesting or has more texture or something that's unique to my sound, I can just go in that folder, grab some random things, chop them up, drop them in a drum rack, and that's pretty much it. Just a ball now. Option 3. Find an instrument that you've never played before and just play it. I know, it's fucking hard. I recently just got a guitar and I'm not really good at it. I don't know how to play it properly, but I can just use my ear to create some melodies that sound good. And because I haven't established any technique or mindset when approaching that instrument, I'm more likely to be less harsh on myself and more likely to explore different melodies or harmonies that I would have never come up with on instruments that I already know. And yeah, I might suck at recording it, but you can have as many takes as you want, and you can always fix some things later. Option 4. Blindfold yourself. Look, I know this sounds weird, but I swear it's so damn fun. Pick a synth or something that makes sounds and try to play it without looking at what you're actually doing. It's just fun and more of a guessing game, especially if you're trying to record it and you don't know where the buttons are. But it's just a good way to start getting in the zone. Bypassing your views of anything you're doing and just following your instincts is a really good way to get things started and really helps you not worry about whether you're doing things right or wrong. Option 5. Vocal chops. I love vocal chops. I love chopping vocals. I love making new melodies out of things. Whenever I get a cool idea for a vocal line or melody or lyric, I will record that on my phone wherever I am. And then later on, when I want to write a new song, but I don't know what I want to sing about or write about, I will take one of those vocal recordings, drop it in a drum rack, and start messing around with vocal chops until some melody forms out of the old one, especially around lyrics, because then I can use those ideas to create new lyrics or fit those lyrics better to what rhythm I've created in the beat. Option 6. Generating harmonies. Let's say you want to come up with some juicy harmonies but your brain's not in the right place. You have your main vocal, but it's really hard to know what you want to do next because harmonies can change the context of your vocals instantly. So this is kind of a hack to listen to what your vocal harmonies would sound like best for your vocal line. I'll use a plugin called Nectar, and Nectar has this option where you can add harmonies to your vocal tracks. So the way I do this is I will create a bunch of harmonies around my main vocal line, and I will mute or unmute them based on how the vocal is evolving. That way I get to listen to a bunch of harmony combinations that I maybe wouldn't have even thought about if I was recording that with my vocals later on. Nobody but you. Now, Nectar can only do so much to alter your vocal, so I will record that track and use that as reference for later on when I actually want to record those vocal harmonies for real. So to summarize this whole shit show up, it's normal not to feel creative all the time, especially nowadays, but I think it's also nice to remind yourself that the reason why a lot of us start making music is because it's fun. And it's easy to forget that when you're in the action of all of it. Okay, enough talking. Now let's hear what I actually made out of this. And if